Hey, what's up you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music. We got something a little different for this video. I've got a special guest named Lindsay L, who's an amazing artist, singer-songwriter, and guitar player. She recently had a #1 on the country charts, so big congrats to her. She's gonna give a really nice perspective for this channel, I think. So you can check her out in the link in the description at her own YouTube channel. And without further ado, Lindsay L.
How's it going? I'm Lindsay L. Thank you, Marty, for such a wonderful introduction again. I'm so happy to hang out with you and talk a little bit about guitar pedals, which is something that is near and dear to my heart. Oftentimes, I know when people pick up an electric guitar, they want to rock out. I know the first time I picked up an electric guitar, I was like, I want to rock. How do I do that? So the first thing you do is you're like, I want to go find a distortion pedal. What do I do? And there's so many out there. There's so many on the market that it's really confusing, and it's still confusing to me now that I've been in it, because every pedal means something different, sounds different. But I want to break it up into 3 different categories today to try to teach you a little bit about the big differences. And then as you get into each category, you can find what you like. Really, distortion is kind of broken up into 3 different categories. There's distortion pedals, there's overdrive pedals, and there's fuzz pedals. I definitely have a favorite, which we'll get to later. But why don't we start with distortion? Because that's what everybody thinks of when they want to go rock first. Distortion pedals, by nature, are very high gain. They kind of have a scoop in the mids. They're very consistent. Here's my distortion pedal. Regardless of how hard I play a certain note, it always has this sort of tone. It kind of gets louder or softer, but it always has that hair on it. It always has that same sort of grit. Distortion pedals are used a lot in rock, a lot in heavy metal. For instance, this Smashing Pumpkins riff, which you may recognize. It's very high gain. It stays at this constant, solid state. Now moving on to my favorite, so I'm kind of biased for this one. Overdrive pedals are my favorite kind of distortion under the Distortion brand. I have probably about 10 to 15 different kinds of overdrive pedals, and I change them up every single show sometimes. But the great thing about overdrive pedals as a whole, they lend themselves a lot to how you're playing. They're meant to kind of push your tone so that it pushes a tube amp to break up. When you hit an overdrive pedal, you can actually play an overdrive pedal so that it's clean, and then you can lay into it so that it breaks up more, which is essentially what a tube amp is supposed to do, but sometimes you're playing in venues that you can't even turn a tube amp up loud enough to get to that point. My overdrive pedal is on right now. This is called the Dumbloid. It's probably my favorite, one of my favorite overdrive pedals, but I'm playing with it on and it sounds pretty clean. Like, and then as I play louder, and if I give more volume, okay, so those tones are because of this same pedal. So you can get clean to really kind of overdrive and big with a lot of grit on it. In the same pedal. So overdrive pedals are very lenient and forgiving, and also you can get really rock tones like a distortion pedal, but you kind of get the best of both worlds. But moving on to fuzz. Fuzz pedals hold their special place, I feel, in the world. There are amazing applications for them, and there are amazing times when you want to use a fuzz pedal. Fuzz tone sort of takes that big distortion sound that we're used to hearing with guitars. It kind of takes the waveform and chunks it up into like square waveforms. And so it kind of takes part of your sound wave and chops it off. So it sounds just weird. It sounds like different than anything else. It's very loud and obnoxious, and sometimes that's exactly the sound you're looking for. I am such a Hendrix fan. I grew up playing Hendrix, and Hendrix used a fuzz pedal a lot. This is what a fuzz pedal sounds like. So they're super loud and obnoxious, but they're really cool. And even in a set, I love throwing in a fuzz pedal for one song because it's like a tone that you can't get with anything else. Okay, so let's simplify this a little bit. Let's break this down. I'm gonna play one chord through each a distortion, overdrive, and fuzz pedal so you can hear the difference. The distortion pedal I'm using is made by Inventions. It's a 1981 pedal. And here's a G chord. Okay, so the overdrive pedal, I'm playing through a Dumbloid, which is made by Dumble amplifiers. Dumble amps are one of my favorite amps in the world, and because I cannot afford to buy one because they are multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars, I was like, I'm just gonna buy a Dumbloid and try to get close to what a Dumble amp would sound like. So this is a G chord from a Dumbloid. And our fuzz pedal, it is called Fishing is as Fun as Fuzz, and it's made by 9-volt pedals, and this is a G chord. Now let's listen to a guitar riff through each of these three so you can hear the difference. So our 1981 Inventions distortion pedal. Our Dumble amplifiers Dumbloid overdrive pedal. And our Fishing is as Fun as Fuzz pedal, 9-volt pedals. So distortion, overdrive, fuzz, they each have their applications, they each have their places that they work really, really well. My favorite is obviously the overdrive world. When you go into a guitar store, you can probably see way more overdrive pedals than you can distortion or fuzz, but they all have their places and they're three completely different things. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, hearing me talk about guitar pedals, one of my loves in my life. Make sure you check out my channel. The link will be in the description below this video, as well as do not forget to like and subscribe to Marty Music. I'm Lindsay L, and we'll see you next time.
All right, there it was. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, please show support for our friend Lindsay, checking her out on her own YouTube channel in the link in the description. Also, you can let us know other stuff you'd like to see from me or Lindsay as well in the comments below. Thanks again. We'll see you later.